Om. Om Namo Bhagavate Sri Aurobindaya. Om Anandamayi. Om Chaitanyamayi. Om Satyamayi. Om Paramayi. Om Peace, Peace, Peace. Savitri, Book 10, Book of the Double Twilight, Canto 2, page 612, The Gospel of Death and Vanity of the Ideal. In harmony with the mighty hush of death, where love lies slumbering on the breast of peace, and thou go back alone to thy frail world, chastise thy heart with knowledge, unhood to see thy nature raised into clear living heights. The heaven bird's view from unimagined peaks. For when thou givest thy spirit to a dream, soon hard necessity will smite thee awake. Purest delight began, and it must end. Soon hard necessity will smite thee awake. Purest delight began, and it must end. Thou too shalt know thy heart no anchor swinging, thy cradled soul moved in eternal seas. Vain are the cycles of thy brilliant mind. Renounce forgetting joy and hope and tears. Thy passionate nature in the bosom profound of a happy nothingness and wordless calm. delivered into my mysterious rest. One with my fathomless nihil, all forget thy fruitless spirit's waste of force, forget the weary circle of thy birth, forget the joy and the struggle and the pain. The vague spiritual quest which first began when worlds broke forth like clusters of fire flowers, and great burning thoughts voyaged through the sky of mind, and time and its aeons crawled across the vasts, and souls emerged into mortality. But Savitri replied to the dark power, a dangerous music now thou findest, O death, melting thy speech into harmonious pain, and flutest alluringly to tired hopes, thy falsehoods mingled with sad strains of truth. But I forbid thy voice to slay my soul. My love is not a hunger of the heart. My love is not a craving of the flesh. It came to me from God, to God returns. Even all that life and man have marred, a whisper of divinity still is heard. Page 613. A breath is felt from the eternal spheres, allowed by heaven and wonderful to man, a sweet fire rhythm of passion chants to love. There is a hope in its wild infinite cry. It rings with callings from forgotten heights, and when its strains are hushed, to high-winged souls. In their empyrean, its burning breath survives beyond the rapturous core of suns that flame forever pure in skies unseen, a voice of the eternal ecstasy. One day I shall behold my great sweet world, put off the dire disguises of the gods, unveil from terror and disrobe from sin. Appeased, we shall draw near our mother's face. We shall cast our candid souls upon her lap. Then shall we clasp the ecstasy we chase. Then shall we shudder with the long sought God. Then shall we find heaven's unexpected strain. Not only is there hope for Godheads pure, the violent and darkened deities leap down from one breast in rage to find what the white gods had missed. They too are safe. A mother's eyes are on them, and her arms stretched out in love desire her rebel sons. One who came love and lover and beloved eternal, built himself a wondrous field and wove the measures of a marvelous dance. There, in its circles and its magic turns, attracted he arrives, repelled he flees. In the wild devious promptings of his mind, he tastes the honey of tears and puts off joy repenting, and has laughter and has wrath, and both are a broken music of the soul, which seeks out reconciled its heavenly rhyme. Ever he comes to us across the years, bearing a new sweet face that is the old. His bliss laughs to us, or It calls concealed like a far-heard unseen entrancing flute from moonlit branches in the throbbing woods, tempting our angry search and passionate pain. Page 614. Disguise the lover seeks and draws our souls. He named himself for me, grew Satyavan. For we were man and woman from the first, the twin souls born from one undying fire. Did he not dawn on me in other stars? How has he through the thickets of the world pursued me like a lion in the night, and come upon me suddenly in the ways, and seized me with his glorious golden leap? Unsatisfied, he yearned for me through time, sometimes with wrath, and sometimes with sweet peace, desiring me since first the world began. He rose like a wild wave out of the floods, and dragged me helpless into seas of bliss. Out of my curtained past, his arms arrive. They have touched me like the soft, persuading wind. They have plucked me like a glad and trembling flower, and clasped me happily, burned in ruthless flame. I too have found him charmed in lovely forms, and run delighted to his distant voice, and press to him past many dreadful bars. If there is yet happier, greater God, let him first wear the face of Satyavan, and let his soul be one with him I love. So let him seek me that I may desire, for only one heart beats within my breast, and one God sits there throned. Advance, O death, beyond the phantom beauty of this world, for of its citizen I am not one. I cherish God the fire, not God the dream. But death once more inflicted on a heart, the majesty of his calm and dreadful voice. A bright hallucination o'er thy thoughts, a prisoner held by a spiritual cord. Of thy own sensuous will the ardent slave, thou sendest eagle poised to meet the sun, words winged with the red splendor of thy heart. Page 615. But knowledge dwells not in the passionate heart. The heart's words fall back unheard from wisdom's throne. Vain is thy longing to build heaven on earth, artificer of ideal and idea, mind, child of matter in the womb of life, to higher levels persuades his parents' deaths inapt, they follow ill the daring guide. But mind, a glorious traveller in the sky, walks lamely on the earth with footsteps slow. Hardly he can mold the life's rebellious stuff, hardly can he hold the galloping hooves of sense. His thoughts look straight into the very heavens, they draw their gold from a celestial mine. His acts were painfully a common ore, all thy high dreams were made by matter's mind, to solace its dull work in matter's jail, its only house where it alone seems true. A solid image of reality carved out of being to prop the works of time. Matter on the firm earth sits strong and sure. It is the firstborn of created things. It stands the last when mind and life are slain. And if it ended, all would cease to be. All else is only its outcome or its phase. Thy soul is a brief flower by the gardener mind, created in thy matter's terrene plot. It perishes with the plant on which it grows, for from earth's sap it draws its heavenly hue. Thy thoughts are gleams that pass on matter's verge, thy life a lapsing wave on matter's sea, a careful steward of truth's limited means. Page 616. Treasuring her founded facts from the squandering power. It tethers mind to the 10 posts of sense, to a leaden grey routine clamps life's caprice, and ties all creatures with the cords of law. A vessel of transmuting alchemies, a glue that sticks together mind and life. If matter fails, all crumbling cracks and falls, all upon matter stands as on a rock. Yet this security and guarantor, pressed for credentials and impostor proves, a cheat of substance where no substance is, an appearance and a symbol and a knot. Its forms have no original right to birth. Its aspect of a fixed stability is the cover of a captive motion swirl, an order of the steps of energy's dance, whose footmarks leave forever the same signs, a concrete face of unsubstantial time, a trickle dotting the emptiness of space, a stable seeming movement without change, yet change arrives and the last change is death. What seemed most real once is nihil's show. Its figures are snares that trap and prison the sense. The beginless, the beginningless void was its artificer. Nothing is there but aspects limned by chance and seeming shapes of seeming energy, all by death's mercy breathe and live a while, all think and act by the inconscious grace. Addict of the roseate luxury of thy thoughts, turn not thy gaze within thyself to look at visions in the gleaming crystal mind. Close not thy lids to dream the forms of gods. At last, to open thy eyes, consent and see the stuff of which thou and the world are made, inconscient in the dumb, inconscient void. Inexplicably a moving world sprang forth. Page 617. A while secure, happily insensible, it could not rest content with its own truth. For something on its nascent breast was born condemned to see and know, to feel and love. It watched its acts, imagined a soul within. It groped for truth and dreamed of self and God. When all unconscious was, then all was well. I, death, was king and kept my regal state, designing my unwilled, unerring plan, creating with a calm, insentient heart. In my sovereign power of unreality, obliging nothingness to take a form, infallibly my blind, unthinking force, making by chance of fixity like fates, by whim the formulas of necessity, founded on the hollow ground of the inane, the sheer bizarrerie of nature's scheme. I curved the vacant ether into space, a huge expanding and contracting breath, harbored the fires of the universe. I struck out the supreme original spark and spread its spears ranked armies through the inane, manufactured the stars from the occult radiances, marshalled the platoons of the invisible dance. I formed Earth's beauty out of atom and gas, and built from chemic plasm the living man. Then thought came in and spoiled the harmonious world. Matter began to hope and think and feel. Tissue and nerve bore joy and agony. The inconscient cosmos strove to learn its task. An ignorant personal God was born in mind, and to understand invented reason's law. The impersonal vast throbbed back to man's desire. A trouble rocked the great world's blind, still heart, and nature lost her wide, immortal calm. Thus came this warped, incomprehensible scene of souls enmeshed in life's delight and pain, and matter's sleep and mind's mortality, of beings in nature's prison waiting death, and consciousness left in seeking ignorance, and evolution's slow, arrested plan. This is the world in which thou movest astray in the tangled pathways of the human mind, in the issueless circling of thy human life, searching for thy soul and thinking God is here. But where is room for soul or place for God in the brute immensity of a machine? A transient breath thou takest for thy soul, born from a gas plasm, a sperm, a gene, a magnified image of man's mind for God, a shadow of thyself thrown upon space, interposed between the upper and nether void. Thy consciousness reflects the world around in the distorting mirror of ignorance, or upwards turns to catch imagined stars, or if a half-truth is playing with the earth, throwing its light on a dark shadowy ground, it touches only and leaves a luminous smudge. Immortality thou claimest for thy spirit, but immortality for imperfect man, a God who hurts himself at every step, would he be a cycle of eternal pain? Wisdom and love thou claimest as thy right, but knowledge in this world is errors made, a brilliant procuress of nescience, and human love a posture on earth's stage, who imitates with verve a fairy dance. An extract pressed from hard experience, man's knowledge cast in the barrels of memory, as the harsh savour of a mortal draught, a sweet secretion from the erotic glance, flattering and torturing the burning nerves. Love is a honey and poison in the breast, drunk by it as the nectar of the gods. Earth's human wisdom is no great broad power, and love no gleaming angel from the skies. if they aspire beyond earth's dulled air, arriving sunwards with frail waxen wings, how high could reach that forced unnatural flight? But not on earth can divine wisdom reign, and not on earth can divine love be found. Heaven born, only in heaven can they live, or else their too, perhaps they are shining dreams. Nay, is not all thou art and dost a dream? Thy mind and life are tricks of matter's force. If thy mind seems to thee a radiant sun, if thy life runs a swift and glorious stream, this is the illusion of thy mortal heart, dazzled by a ray of happiness or light, impotent to live by their own right divine, convinced of their brilliant unreality. When their supporting ground is cut away, these children of matter into matter die. Even matter vanishes into energy's wake, and energy is the motion of old naught. How shall the ideal's unsubstantial hues be painted stiff on earth's vermilion blur? A dream within a dream come doubly true? How shall the will-o'-the-wisp become a star? The ideal is a melody of thy mind, a bright delirium of thy speech and thought, a strange wine of beauty lifting thee to false sight. A noble fiction of thy yearnings made, thy human imperfection it must share. Its forms in nature disappoint the heart, and never shall it find its heavenly shape, and never can it be fulfilled in time. O soul, misled by the splendor of thy thoughts, O earthly creature, with thy dream of heaven, obey, resigned and still, the earthly law. Accept the brief light that falls upon thy days. Take what thou canst of life's permitted joy, submitting to the ordeal of faith's scourge. Suffer what thou must of toil and grief and care. There shall approach silencing thy passionate heart, my long calm night of everlasting sleep. There into the hush from which thou camest retire. End of Book 10, Canto 2. The Book of Double Twilight, The Debate of Love and Death, Canto 3, page 621. A sad, destroying cadence the voice sang. It seemed to lead the advancing march of life into some still original inane. But Savitri answered to almighty death, O dark-browed sophist of the universe, who veilest the real with its own idea, hiding with brute objects nature's living face, masking eternity with thy dance of death. Thou hast woven the ignorant mind into a screen, and made a thought error's purveyor and scribe, and a false witness of mind's servant sense, an aesthete of the sorrow of the world, champion of a harsh and sad philosophy. Thou hast used words to shutter out the light, and called in truth to vindicate a lie. A lying reality is falsehood's crown, and a perverted truth her richest gem. O death, thou speakest truth, but truth that slays. I answer to thee with the truth that saves. A traveller new discovering himself, one made of matter's world his starting point, he made of nothingness his living room, and night a process of the eternal light, and death a spur towards immortality. God wrapped his head from sight in matter's cowl. His consciousness dived into inconscient depths. All knowledge seemed a huge dark nescience. Infinity wore a boundless zero's form. His abysms of bliss became insensible deeps. Eternity, a blank spiritual vast, annulling an original nullity. The timeless took its ground in emptiness, and drew the figure of a universe, that the spirit might adventure into time and wrestle with adamant necessity, and the soul pursue a cosmic pilgrimage. Prayer to Sri Aurobindo. To thee who has been the material envelope of our Master, to thee our infinite gratitude. Before thee who has done so much for us, who has worked, struggled, suffered, hoped, endured so much, before thee who has willed all, attempted all, prepared, achieved all for us, before thee we bow down and implore that we may never forget, even for a moment, all we owe to Thee. Prayer to Mother India. O our Mother, O Soul of India, Mother who has never forsaken Thy children, even in the days of darkest depression, even when they turned away from Thy voice, served other masters, and denied Thee. Now, when they have arisen, and the light is on Thy face, in this dawn of Thy liberation, in this great hour we salute Thee. Guide us so that the horizon of freedom opening before us may be also a horizon of true greatness and of Thy true life in the community of the nations. Guide us so that we may be always on the side of great ideals and show to men Thy true visage as a leader in the ways of the Spirit and a friend and helper of all the peoples. Dear Mother, make of us the hero warriors we aspire to become. May we fight successfully the great battle of the future that is to be born, against the past that seeks to endure, so that the new things may manifest and we may be ready to receive them. Burning brazier, to be the divine love, love powerful, infinite, unfathomable, in every activity, in all the worlds of being. It is for this I cry to Thee, O Lord, let me be consumed with this love divine, love powerful, infinite, unfathomable, in every activity, in all the worlds of being. Transmute me into that burning brazier, so that all the atmosphere of earth may be purified with its flame. Oh, to be Thy love infinitely. ஸ்ரீ அரவிந்த அன்னைக்கு பிரார்த்தனை. சாவித்ரி என்னும் இந்த யக்ஞத்தில் கலந்து கொண்டிருக்கும் நாங்கள் அனைவரும் உங்களின் கருவியாக இந்த பூமியில் தங்களின் ஒளியை ஏந்தி, இந்த ஒளி எங்களையும் எங்களை சுற்றியுள்ள அனைவருக்கும் ஒரு பாதுகாப்பு கவசமாக இருந்து உலகத்திற்கும் ஒரு வழிகாட்டியாக இருக்க நாங்கள் பிரார்த்தனை செய்கின்றோம். தாயே, நீங்கள் கூறியது போல், may we fight successfully the great battle of the future that is to be born against the past. பழமைகளை விட்டொழித்து புதிய உலகிற்கு நாங்கள் எங்களை தயார் செய்வோமாக. எங்களுடன் கட்டுண்டு இருக்கும் பழைய விஷயங்கள் எங்களை விட்டு வெளியே செல்லுமாறு பிரார்த்திக்கின்றோம். அதுவே இந்த புதிய விடியலுக்கான சரியான மனநிலை என்பதை நாங்கள் அறிந்து அவற்றை எங்களுக்கு நீங்கள் வழங்குமாறு இந்த ஆரோவில் பூமியிலிருந்து உங்களின் குரல்களுக்கு எங்கள் குரல்களை, எங்கள் பிரார்த்தனையை உங்கள் பாதார விந்தங்களில் சமர்ப்பணம் செய்கின்றோம். Thank you, Mother. Thanks for being with us. Make this hour as a real aspiration for the Divine Mother's light. Let this not be a reading hour. Let this be a prayer hour to change our nature, to make our within the flame which we lit some few days back, make it glow with the divine light. Thank you. We see at 9 o'clock.